There's nothing better here on Healthy Living when we're doing a cardiac series to talk to an actual patient who is doing cardiac rehab right now. And it's been fun for me to talk to Ms. Jenkins. Thank you so much for joining us because she's a special ed teacher. I know a million of the kids that you've taught for 20 years. And talk to me a little bit about the impact, why you enjoy doing this and how it's helped you. And I see a lot of contraptions on you too.
Oh yeah. Well, I was having a lot of stress, but when I started cardiac rehab, and now I feel much better.
Do you honestly?
Yes, I do.
So what is a typical day for you when you do this? I see you're lifting weights. I'm like, does she have to do this when we're talking?
Oh yeah. I like the elliptical now.
Do you do elliptical?
Yeah.
How many days a week do you come?
3.
Do you?
On Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Then do you have kind of a regimen or a cycle that you follow?
Yeah, I do the elliptical first.
Okay.
And then I do the hand turn.
Okay.
And then I do the treadmill.
How long are you here?
For like an hour.
Are you really? Yes. Now, do you do weights? Do you feel stronger?
Yes, I do.
You know, one of the cool things, we were talking to one of the doctors, and they were like, yeah, the goal isn't to just make you good, it's to make you stronger and better.
Oh,
Since you've had all the surgery, do you feel like you're stronger and in better shape than you've been in a long time?
Yes, since I started the cardiac rehab.
Now, are you back in school?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, obviously you're doing pretty well because you're working with kids.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. Of all the things that you do, what do you think has helped you the most? Do you like the elliptical, the aerobic stuff? Do you like the weightlifting?
The elliptical.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you put your headphones on and like?
No, just do it.
Really?
Because when you do the elliptical and you're moving your hands and you're moving your legs,
is it this
helps a
one?
lot. Yes.
Oh, that's cool. That's wonderful. I really appreciate you taking time out of your workout to come and talk to us.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Ms. Jenkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay with us. Wow, talk about inspirational. I'm here with Scott. And you had a cardiac procedure how long ago?
5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually in June 26th
and
of 2014.
It's been fun because you said you actually graduated from the rehabilitation program, but now you come here.
Yeah, every three times a week.
Okay.
And for a couple hours a session, do some running and lift some weights. Originally I was going to join a gym, but my wife said there are no nurses in a gym. So, you're going to keep coming here.
Exactly.
And yeah, there's a lot of, made a lot of good friends.
I was just going to say, you said it's almost like a family now. And obviously he works out because he's sweating. He's been running. So this is all good news. Yeah. But are you monitored constantly and have you made, I mean, it's kind of nice to have nurses that you're comfortable with now.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's, they don't monitor us like they did when we first started, when we were in the program, the first part of the program. But they do a heart rate, blood pressure, beginning and end. So
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What was your goal when you first started out, and how has that sort of shifted and evolved over time?
My first goal was to never come back to the emergency room.
Okay. That's
but then as I got going, I started to do things like triathlons and road races, 5Ks. So that keeps me kind of on track.
I would say. So. Well, it's fun because we've talked to all the doctors and the folks in the hospital, prevention, all the way through. And we were just saying the goal, which surprised me, is not just baseline, it's to get stronger and better and more active. And that.
Oh, I am much stronger than I was when I started, and probably as strong as I've ever been. The added benefit is that I can keep up with my 5 grandchildren now, which I couldn't do.
There's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
Scott, thank you for taking time out of your workout.
You're welcome.
We'll keep you warmed up here, so we'll go talk to someone else.
All right.
Because we're talking about cardiac rehabilitation, I would like to introduce you to Larry, who is an exercise physiologist. And I think I've always been very curious about what an exercise physiologist actually does, and then how it plays into the cardiac rehab unit here.
Right. Well, we just look at the physiological changes that take place in the body, and since it is an exercise setting, we're mostly concerned of those changes as it relates to movement and exercise.
And so what does that specifically mean? I noticed that a lot of them are carrying what look like telemetry or some kind of little box that's attached to them as they're working out.
Yes, they're all connected to a telemetry system. So what we have on our screen right here is each patient's being individually monitored. So we get EKG tracings, and so what we're looking for is any kind of abnormality or arrhythmia that may indicate that we may need to make a change in some physiological parameter. Oftentimes we might get somebody with a type A personality and they kind of want to overdo it.
Overachievers.
And so we have already calculated target heart rates for them. So we have, through mathematical formulas, decided here are safe ranges for you to operate in given your current stage.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. As people from the beginning of the program through, I guess, graduation from the program, is the goal to kind of strengthen and increase, raise?
Right. Since with a cardiovascular condition, we're mostly concerned with something called a MET level, which simply stands for metabolic equivalent. One way to think of it is that it takes like 1 MET of energy just to be alive.
Okay.
So as MET level goes up, it means that your body, and particularly heart and lungs, are becoming more efficient. So our goal is to systematically raise them over the course of the time that they're here, and to raise that MET level, because every time the MET level goes up, it's sort of like saying, here's a whole new range of activities that you can now safely do.
And is it that you're laying a foundation, for lack of a better way of saying it, and then I'm building on that foundation, making every part of my body stronger?
Right. Well, what happens is that with every workout, there's a real minute physiological change. Unfortunately, it's so small that you can't perceive it.
Okay.
But you have that little change building each time, and right around 6 to 7 weeks, it's almost like a light switch goes off. They finally get to that point where those changes have gradually built up to now that they're perceivable, and it's frightening. It's almost like overnight. They feel bad one day, they come here the next day, and they feel good from then on, because they've kind of gotten to that point where they can perceive that change. Now they can do things with less effort, and
oh, Larry, it's amazing to talk with you, and just learning about this and educating all of us, I think, is really important.